Hello everyone and welcome to the final ETMN tutorial for creative apps for the iPad. I'm Victoria Olson and today we're going to be taking a look at Keynote by Apple. If you buy an iPad now, you get Keynote for free on your iPad. However, if you have some old iPads where they were bought before, I think it was September 2013, then you will have to purchase Keynote yourself. And it is an expensive app, but a beautiful app. It is $9.99 in the App Store if you purchase your iPads prior to that date. So we're going to get started today. I'm just going to highlight a few features. There's no way I can highlight everything in one single tutorial on Keynote, but what I will urge you to do is just press the buttons. If I can say anything, that is the number one piece of advice I have for any app. The worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to crash and then you just restart. So let's get going with Keynote. So obviously it's going to be very Apple-y in nature. It's a very clean interface. At the very top left, we're going to have that plus button. And we're going to create a presentation today, but obviously if you take a look at those options, you can do a little bit more there. So again, press those buttons. So we're just going to begin creating a presentation by choosing a theme. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different templates here to choose from. So I'll just choose cream paper here. It's very sleek, and it's a basic presentation tool, so it's gonna give you kind of some advice on how to use it. Just right on the slides, every time you add a slide, you have different choices at the very bottom left to add different types of slides, and it's just going to tell you kind of how to do things. So double tap to edit. At the very bottom right hand corner of the photos, you can change the stock image photo to something you want from your camera roll or elsewhere. So it's pretty straightforward to use. So what we're going to do is just, of course, double tap to edit. So we'll call this test presentation. And you can use this K-12 in any area. Oops. Oh, love autocorrect there. You can use this in K-12 in any area, really. So it's a great tool for kids to show their learning. And also, I heard that elementary kids are looking at these slides as a book, which is pretty cool. They're flipping it like it's a book, not like a slide presentation like most adults would think of it as. So that's kind of cool. So if I want to add any elements to this presentation, what I would do is press the plus button on the top right side. And we have choices between different kind of tables we can add. We can make 3D or interactive elements, so you can see that there's a little bit of depth there with the kind of elements that are chosen, and then ones that can actually be interacted with if this presentation is shared with another iPad. And then of course you can take photos or videos in. So just as an example, I'll bring a photo or video in here. So let's just bring a photo of my kids on a Skype call here, and you'll see that I'll be able to toggle that image and how big it is, and it's got some really great measurement tools. You can see at the top a ruler comes here. There's also a width and a height pixel measurement, so you can definitely control that. And then when I move this around, you can also see those rulers are happening, and there's some guides there for how to make it centered or to put it at a certain spot in the presentation. So that's pretty cool. Another thing you can do is when an image is selected, you can kind of edit it and play with it. So I can change the mask, and what a mask is it changes how much of the image is actually seen or as opposed to not seen. So I can make the mask just the high school kids that we're Skyping with, and that will cut the rest of the image out. If I want to change that, then I can double tap on the image and go back to the normal view. Another little tip is if you tap once on an image, it will bring up a little menu that allows you to use all of these different features like cut, copy, delete, or comment. If you're collaborating with someone, the comment feature is great just to leave a note like we need a caption here or something like that. Animate is really the kids' total favorite, and as you can see, as soon as you tap the animate button, there are two buttons that pop up below the image that say build in and build out. Now, build in is how the image will begin appearing into the actual presentation. So let's just say I'm going to click on Anvil, and I can play with some of the options, how long it is, what order these things happen in once we have more than one. And if I want to test it out, I can tap the play button, and that's what it's going to look like when it builds in. Now, if I want to create a build out, again, I would just tap on the image in question, and I would build out a certain way. So let's just say I want it to disappear via blinds, and you're going to see the 1, 2 popping in there, and I can press play, and that's how it would leave the presentation. So that's an example of how to use that. You can also, when we see the animations, you can also build those transitions in between slides. So if we tap there, we can actually get options for how our slides would move from one slide to another. I'm just going to do one more thing here, and we're going to be testing out how to add an image inside of an existing image that is on the slide deck. So I'm going to press the plus button in that bottom right corner. And what's going to happen automatically is you're going to get a choice of your different applications, or sorry, different photos, excuse me, that you can use. So again, we have access to those recently added photos. We can put them in, and it's going to try to automatically put it inside of there. So once again, if I double tap, I can change the mask and actually move that image to where I want it to be. So that's just some basics as far as adding images and text. But right now we're going to play with some features in the presentation mode. So at the top right corner, there is a presentation button. I'm going to tap that, and what it's going to do is it's going to force my presentation to go full screen. Now if I want to actually draw on the slides to make a point, let's say I'm recording my screen through QuickTime or through Camtasia like I'm doing right now, I can tap and hold on the screen with my finger. And what's going to happen is I can actually draw with a pen, so I can circle something. You can see me circling there. Now, if at the bottom, I am seeing pen tools from my view on the iPad, but you're not seeing those as the viewer because I'm in presentation mode. So that's what's nice about Apple, is that if I'm showing somebody this, if I'm actually presenting this, I see those tools, but you don't see them in presentation mode on your screen. I also have a laser pointer, much like Explain Everything, if I want to point out a certain area. And of course, when I'm all done, that stuff is going to disappear, which is really nice. So that's just some cool stuff that you can do with Keynote. I'm just going to go back to the editing mode here so you can see that. All your presentations are saved automatically, so as soon as you tap the presentations menu, so we'll go back to just show that one more time. Open my presentations. If I click presentations at the top left, I'm going to be taken back to that main screen. Everything auto saves for you, which is great. If you ever have any questions about Keynote, since there are so many buttons to press, there is a question mark at the top right corner, and that will actually give you some callouts for what those little buttons actually stand for. And the same goes for inside of the presentation itself. That question mark is going to lead you to all of the different types of tools that you can use when you're using Keynotes. So hopefully this presentation has helped you understand a little bit about it and see some applications within your classroom or your school. This is the last of the creative apps for the iPad tutorials from the ETMN. So next month we'll be exploring some social media apps. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.